Ugh. What a mess. What a mess. What a funky mess. Ugh. Alrighty, we're good to go. And boy, is it getting hot in here. Fucking hell again. It's this way.
Is that all you've got? You must have more.
Would you rather eat a burger pizza or one liver and onion bean?
Burger pizza. What the hell? What kind of question is that? That's a terrible question. Who the fuck wants to eat a bean? Those beans are awful, brother. Those beans are Satan's butthole. That's a no-brainer, good sir. All right. Satan's butthole. Oh! Shimone. Let's make some Iron Hills Warriors. We got a diorama to make. Satani butthole. Alrighty. Mochi. It's okay. Mochi's still going crazy. I'll tell you right now, if you've never had those beans, I wish you the best. That is a good thing. Those beans are destructively disgusting. They are home wreckers. Home wreckers. Like, they're just not good. Nothing about them is yummy. I gotta say. They're like top-tier dog shit. Top-tier... Disgusting. Nasty. Cook, my children, cook. I'm like a obese witch. Yes! Alrighty. Do-do-do-do-do-do. This is kind of ghoulish doing this here. I should be doing it in the bathroom, but it's okay. Very easy to do. My ears, my ears. Um, hmm. Hmm. I don't have anything. Okay, I do. Alrighty. We're good to go. Where's the baby wipe? Babies! The baby wipe. Lovely. I don't know if I can listen to this. My ears are like dying. It's the Unk Age. This newfangled macrotonal nonsense. Here we go. Legacy Yellow, sir. I am good. We are just working on a soon-to-be diorama for a store. Yeah, you're good, bro. No worries. I will be going to bed soon as well. It's already 8:30. I'm probably just going to clean these up and then head out. We need to clean up all this nasty resin. Clean up the resin and then go to sleep. I'm tired. You have to clean the mold release. You can technically do this at any stage, but it's good to do it first. These are basically casted up in molds, and then they're pulled out of those molds, and they're usually with a release agent, so they come out cleanly. That's all I'm cleaning up. So this is just like a general wash. And it's not that you can't go back and wash them again. I usually do a few times, but like for the sake of just working with them initially, it's fine to just kind of like do this. They don't need to be perfect. No, not really. It's like a spray. It's like sometimes it's powder, sometimes it's spray. It's just it's just like it's a release agent. It's like an oil. Any sort of lubey thing. You don't even need to worry about seeing it because, like, again, if you clean them, it's off. Played with them yet? What do you mean? Played a game of these? Fuck, I might even get some Iron Hills Dwarves after doing this project. If you ordered it by mistake, return it, bro. You should return it. Unless you really want it. I mean, in that case, keep it, but yeah. Crushed. Crushed. Oh, yeah. Well, if you have it, I mean, you may as well just make it or something. Do something with it, right? It's really easy to clean resin. It's just kind of a super basic process. I've got a lot of resin to work with here. We have got quite the project ahead of us. Warp stuff is annoying, yeah. It can be. Like, look at these, right? Yes, that is. They'll all be straight. It's okay, I'm not worried. Yeah. Hair dryer, boiled water. Anything like that. I have a bit of a sealed collection. You should open as much as you can and build it. It is a model kit, to be fair. As much as I love... I collect sealed GW stuff. I've been doing it for a while, but that's like nostalgia oop. Like, well out of production stuff. Anything that you can buy today is just kind of worth opening and toying around with, but, you know. Out of production's different. As much as it deserves a new life on the tabletop, it's like sometimes you want to just keep it for that nostalgia. Nostalgia's lovely. Nostalgia will bring you to places that you wish you were at a long time ago. Yeah, the End Times DLC should be cool. I just want to see new dwarf characters, honestly. I mean, it'll be great to get, like, Nagash with all of the Mortarks and whatever else they decide to add, but I mean, my jam is always just Owie. Bring forth Bugman. Bring forth Cazador. Bring forth Shield Bears. Bring forth Snorri fucking Nosebiter. Do it! Where is Snorri, my beloved? That would be so sick. I'd love to see Snorri. Oh, the East, there's a lot of shit to do in the East, depending on what they want to go with, because they're coming out with, like, the fucking, what are those, the Tiger, what is it, Koresh? No, it's not Koresh. Was it Ind? It's one of them. The Tiger folk, I forgot their names. But there still is dwarf stuff to release, 100%. The problem with the dwarves is they're just always stuck in their ways. Like, there are no innovative, like, units and things outside of, hey, here's the Thunder Barge. Like, they need more of their roster kind of filled out with what's missing. Vulcan. Vulcan Histan. Is that the salamander guy? I miss squats. I do too. I miss them. Heroes, characters, mounts. If you want to get real flavorful, do the fucking Shard Dragon. If you want to get flavorful. Because the Shard Dragon was, like, right before the end times. That was, like, the 8th edition Monstrous Arcanum. It was basically a shackled drake with, like, runic magic. That would be a very interesting thing to do. I don't know if they'd want to, because it's, like, very anti-dwarvish, but, like... It's a flavor unit, especially for the end times where everything falls apart. It's like, why not? You know, that's a fun addition. It'd be very strange, though. But a lot of it's just characters, mounts, shield bearers. Reworking. Like, rework the fucking Bugman's Rangers completely. Bring out Bugman. Bring out Cazador. As like a hybrid Dwarf Lord, like, that'd be dope. A lot of it's just characters, though. You could bring out the Rune Guardians. Bit of a weird one. Basically, Runic Engineers Guild Golems from, like, roleplay. They're not like the stone ones, the Granti Duraz, the older War of Vengeance ones, where the magic is, like, very much gone, so those can't really be powered, but, like, for the sake of, you know, engines and whatnot, Engineers Guild things, like, you could do it. There's flavor. There's a lot of flavor. But, of course, everyone's eyeing, like, Nagash and all that stuff, so that's fine. Well, there's two types of golems. There's two types. You have the actual stone and rune magic ones that are very old, that are sealed away in, like, a vault. And then you have the ones that are of metal and magic. There was two variants of it. And the latter variant makes a little bit more sense. Unless you can just swing that, like, oh my god, the end times, the winds of magic are all fucked up again, and, like, you know, the Granti Duraz are all powered up, and they're kind of marching out of their catacombs, you know, whatever it may be, their vaults. You could do that. The dwarves have been very hard-pressed to have golems, because, like, it's just such a dwarvish thing, but they're just never seen anywhere. Like, for God's sake, like, the Chaos Dwarves ended up with some in Age of Sigmar before, like, the actual dwarves did in Fantasy. As a miniature. Well, it's a bit hard to do. Well, you could do that. Yeah, you could set it back then, but the issue is, if it's the end times, I mean, where is the correlation between, like, the War of Vengeance and the end times, you know what I mean? There's nothing going on. Like, yeah. I don't know. I guess with the magic, again, you can wing it. It's a game. It doesn't have to be entirely, like, lore-friendly or anything. Technically, they made up Cathay. Technically, they made up Vampire Coast in terms of, like, fleshed-out rosters. You could throw something in there. You know, games are always meant to be an extension anyways, so it's like, you can swing it some way. I'd like to see it, though. It's such a big part of the dwarves that's just never anywhere, unfortunately. Oh, we gotta clean Dane. Dane Pig Rider. Holy pigtail. Look at this thing. That's the pig's tail. Super tiny. Hog Rider. Scenarios would be great, to be honest. Yeah, that would be an, you know what, that'd be like a weird, like, what, timeline quest thing, where it's like, take part in the War of Vengeance, the Siege of Toralessi. I don't know, that could be pretty cool. Well, which one? Which siege? Yeah, that could be pretty interesting. I mean, Total War is such a great thing, but, like, you know, GW doesn't have everything prepared, honestly. Like, they're supposed to be doing reprints of a lot of the old fantasy novels. The War of Vengeance is getting a reprint, which is excellent, because that's, like, such a pivotal thing for the world and, you know, for the elves and the dwarves, but yeah, if that came out and then they did a scenario, that'd be pretty fun. I mean, Total War is going to be supported, though, for quite a while, right? It's not down and out anytime soon, which is good news. Yeah, the gate's falling. Everyone's favorite thing in fantasy. Demons. Chaos. Always, everywhere. Crazy to think that still, fantasy is literally made up of, like, aliens. I guess even in a sense we are aliens ourselves. Like, how the hell do we even know how we were made? For the sake of Warhammer, actual aliens, but, like, for us, I don't know. Evolution. Because, I mean, they're supposed to be doing, supposedly, a big, like, not an AOS retcon, but a bit of an AOS restart to kind of, like, in my opinion, get rid of certain armies that didn't do well, certain units, mostly looking at, like, the Fire Slayers, but I don't know. Maybe they could couple that with, like, Total War stuff, throw some hype around it. I don't know what they want to do. Who knows? Whoops. Fantasy is great. It's just very, very underappreciated, I would say. Knowing how many people are into Warhammer now and what we had before, like a lot of people I'd hope would be into fantasy if they ended up finding anything on it, but Total War does a good job at bringing people in. Total War. Okay, our water is like just soap at this point. I'm assuming that's the tail. Or what is that? What's supposed to be there? There's nothing there. Weird. Okay, this is good. Let's move all this. Oh my god, there's so much water. The stuff of life. And the instructions. It is the tail. Yeah, it was the tail piece. Okay. Oh, Lord. All of them get their own spear. That is something. One B. That would be interesting. I'm not sure if they would want to do that. I mean, the whole Skaven story, I remember the one, what was it, in like the 4th edition book, maybe? 5th edition, whenever their first, like, army book came out, and they had, like, the whole Empire City, you know, being approached by, like, the hooded figure and building the big bell tower in the middle, and they had, like, the dwarf hold. And then with the chime of 13, the dwarves went silent, and then everyone was overran by Skaven. That was, like, the initial, oh my god, they're here. That's how they were kind of, like, shown up in the world, but yeah, it would be interesting. Less is more sometimes, though, because Skaven are kind of, like, everywhere. You just can't get rid of them. Okay, we should chop these up. Dry all these off, chop them up. Let's use this. Why are you wetting the toys? You have to clean them. There is more resin in the actual hub than there is in, like, the miniatures. That's funny. Mochi! His sculpts are pretty good. They're all digitally designed, but they're really nice. The captain looks so much more... I mean, he should be more detailed, but, like, he's pretty, Like, fidelity is pretty good. Some of the details are really soft, though. Like, holy moly, that looks so soft. Looks really, really soft. Yes, sir. We got to do a diorama. We got to get ready the diorama for Ryan's store. Got to do the Iron Hills. Dane and the Dwarves. No, this is something for his store. This isn't for my own stuff. If I was to go back, I'd buy the range. Yeah, I'd buy everything. I would get the chariot, even though the chariot's like fucking $300. Probably the most expensive thing in the range is the chariot. I'm not gonna lie, that thing is like incredibly expensive. But you only need one, so thank God. And it's like the size of a pie. What is with the sculpts? They're so, look at this. I gotta show you this. Look at this. Look how soft this is. Oh, is he really? That's cool. The chariot's really nice. Look at the softness of the beards. There's literally no strands or anything. It's so strange. It's just like a mush. Look at his beard. What is that? They're good sculpts. It's just so bizarre. Yeah, it's a little bizarre. They're still nice, though. They're very nice. I think the more you look at stuff like this, the more you like it, so it's fine. Everything grows on you. So I don't mind. They'll look good painted up. We gotta make this into a YouTube video. This is gonna be the next big project. No, some of the mold came out with it. I don't really know what I'm going to do with Dane on foot. It's cool that you have, like, dismounted characters when your mount dies, and that's kind of why you've got, like, 2 variants of everyone. Like, that's sick, but I don't know what to do with him on foot. Because the goal was to make him into a diorama with, like, the pig. And then have his, like, soldiers kind of around him. That's kind of what I want to do, but I'll have to do something with this. Something cool. I just don't really, maybe a duel. Maybe a duel with some orcs. I'm not sure. Some scum. Some super scum. Nah. Maybe Dane's, maybe surrounded by a bunch of orcs. That'd be cool. I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. It's the planning stage, but I know for a fact it'll definitely be him riding the pig. Pig rider. No, you're good. I have a general idea of how I want to kind of pan things out with, like, Dane and the guys, but yeah. We'll see. Just gotta make everyone look natural. There's the shields. Pretty nice looking. Ba-bum, ba-bum. Azog. I will see if there's anything else I can do. I can't really make this like a year's worth of work. It was initially supposed to be Dane as a diorama, and then I'm like, you know, it'd be cooler than having just Dane, all of his troops. So then that kind of got lumped into it as well, and I'm yeah. Maybe, yeah, surrounded by orcs would be pretty cool. We'll see. There's a million diorama ideas for everything I've ever worked on, and none of them have come to fruition, like all the cool ones, so this needs to. This is for his store. This ain't for me. We gotta make it fancy. Took me forever to get the armored Azog. Is that, I'm assuming it's like a always out of stock Forge World piece? As is with all this stuff these days. Out of stock, the usual. Oh, it's only available in that set. Okay. So you only wanted him, though. You didn't want, like, anyone else? Yeah, that's cool. Well, you know what? That works out, bro. Otherwise, you're stuck with a mini that you don't really care for because you're not really doing orcs. That's cool. Or dwarves, I should say, in this case, right? It's so interesting to see. It's so interesting to see that they traditionally sculpted Dane. This is a traditional sculpt. This is hand sculpted. So is Dane, and you can easily tell. But they decided, I guess, for the sake of like uniformity and infantry, I guess it makes a bit more sense to make them digital. But like Dane looks, I mean, the detail. Dane looks really good. Like the fur, the hair, filigree. This is a really good sculpt. The beard looks really nice. Very reminiscent of old Warhammer minis. That's cool. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, I hope Dane looks better. I mean, there's a few beards here that look really good. Like the sergeant looks good, or the captain. And then you've got, like, the standard bearer. Yeah. It's cool. Wanted to get some of the StarCraft minis. See, I would say the same, but then I'd play Terran, and everyone would play Terran. So I don't think I'd really want to do it. But they're very cool. They're very, very cool. At that point, it's like, who cares what other people are doing? But, like, imagine getting, like, 50 Terran mirror matches. Like, what are you playing? Terran. What are you playing? Terran. Terran. Like, no one plays Protoss, no one plays Zerg. Well, they will, but it's just, yeah, Terrans are going to be the most popular thing. I could just make them dwarves. Just use Votan minis and be like, yeah, that's just them. You got beat by the squats. You got beat by the squats, brother. Exactly. And who doesn't like humanity, you know? Well, a lot of us don't. We're kind of shitheads on this planet, but humanity in the sense of, like, you know, some futuristic setting. All right, I think everything's kind of wiped down. I can't really clip anything off yet because I do have to do the video, but cleaning them for now is fine. I'll probably do, like, a little re-cleaning of, like, one sprue to kind of just show people what it's about. This should be really fun. This is the next thing I have to do. I've already put the Votan away. It's a good little bit so far. I need to get my plinths. The plinths would be something to work on. Maybe not today, though. I could also just clean these while I'm at it, but I'm not sure. Here is literally Old Dane. You got Young Dane and Old Dane. There he is. And then his son, Thorin III. That's cool. Alrighty. How many poses of each do you get, actually? Let me take a look at those. You've got kneeling, 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 standing, standing. So 4, and then you've got action poses. I was kind of hoping to get more kind of resting poses, but that's fine. Captain standard, 4 action. Okay, so 4 kneeling, 4 standing, 4 action. Which dwarf faction has the biggest troll slayer spear? What does that mean? Which dwarf faction has the biggest spear? I mean, the Iron Hells. I don't know of any dwarves with bigger spears. They're like exclusively, well, they're not exclusively with spears, but like, you know. One of the dwarf armies has like 2 models, one with a huge shield, one is a huge spear. Which? You talking about fantasy? Warhammer Fantasy? The troll... Well, the Slayers. You're talking about the old fantasy Slayers. The old Warhammer Fantasy Slayers. They don't really have spears. The Imperial Dwarves have spears. They're not really Slayers. They're gross. One of the dwarf armies has like 2 models. One is a huge shield. You're talking about the shield bearers. The dwarf lord on shield bearers. The other one, I'm not sure what you're referring to. Maybe the bolt thrower. The troll slayer. Well, there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of different slayers. But traditionally in fantasy, there are no spearmen for the dwarves unless they're the imperial variety. Too much with the umgi. Why do they call the Lord of the Rings kits expert kits? Is that just like the name of all of the expert kit, by the way? You found it? What is it called? Oh, the Vault. Oh, the Vault Wardens. Those are for Khazad-dûm. Yeah. Those guys sit in like hallways and tunnels, and they just kind of like guard them. They're like Iron Breakers for fantasy. Yeah. The Vault Wardens. You know what's crazy about the Vault Wardens? I don't know if they're even like those are Khazad-dûm. So you're playing with like Durin. I think his name was Modron. He's like the Vault Warden, kind of bodyguard, right-hand man of Durin. Is it Khazad-dûm? The interest, yeah, you're right. So the Vault, I have a few of these actually. So the Vault Wardens, yeah, it's Durin and Martin. It's so strange for the Vault Wardens because there are more sculpts. I don't know if you actually get it. There's actually another variant of this, and they're more at ease. They have the giant spear pointed up at like, I don't know, fucking 100-degree angle or something. So, pretty interesting that they only sell one. For 25 bucks and resin? God. Because the resin is toxic. Well, even the plastic is toxic, technically, but yeah, I guess so. Spear was named Troll Slayer. No, that's fine. Yeah, these are basically just iron breakers. They sit in claustrophobic areas and kind of just, well, choke points. They sit in choke points and hold the line. Yeah. I've been staring at the Lord of the Rings range even more as of late, just because I'm like super nostalgic. Not that all this stuff is like incredibly nostalgic, because a lot of it's kind of moved on, like old Citadel Guard. So there's a few older kits. These are new, actually. The Dwarf Warriors, 2000 what, 3 to 6, I think. Came out like 2006, maybe. These were all sculpted by the Perrys again. These still look good. Lovely. The Dwarven Command. The Avenger Bolt Thrower. I still need to find a metal Dwarven Ballista. I want the metal one. I don't like the fine cast one. And they only sell the fine cast one, which is pretty lame, but it will. Still, the Woses. These are like, these came out probably, what, around 2000 for like the Fellowship? Some super old sculpts. The Woses! Gandalf in his cart. I think it was here somewhere, right? Denethor. What a bum. At least in the movies. Apparently Denethor was better in the books, which I've never read, so I can't say much. Elrond and Gilgalad. Osgiliath veterans. This is such an interesting thing, where you've basically got like sashes and capes, but it's like 3 Minas Tirith dudes with like conversions for like $25. That's it's interesting. I think it's just the camera. The camera's always fucked up on this stream. The camera is always terrible on this stream. I wouldn't worry about it. It's bad. The Kings of Men. Dunedain of the North. I remember having these, actually. Damn. Are these guys in Finecast now? Oh, they're still in metal. That's crazy. That's cool. Rangers of Middle-earth. Are those just like... Which ones? Plastic kit? Oh, there's the cart. I like how you get all 3 of them. You get Gandalf in, like, on foot, on horse, and then on cart. Can you bring the cart in-game? That's kind of fun. It's just the guys in cloaks. Yeah, the plastic kit. The Rangers. I think I just saw them. They were up here, I think. They didn't sell out. Right here. Rangers of Middle-earth. Yeah. I mean, they're just... You know what? You know why they're so good? Is because they're so simple. They're so simple. None of these are over-designed. They're just, like, realistic, well-sculpted, proportional, basic designs. That's why they're so good. You can't do wrong with them. Even the dwarves. They're so great. They even still sell the old Riders of Rohan. And I still think these look great. These were like some of the first few things I had seen back in the day. Along with like the first Alliance guys, goblins, whatever. Yeah, these are really nice. Scourging of the Shire. Oh my god. That Radagast right there? It's the old Radagast, I believe, right? Is it? It's not. Sharky and Worm. I guess I'm wrong. Thought it was Radagast. Worm. This was an interesting one. This one came out like a few years ago. This is like a plastic kit. I mean, Gimli looks fucking great. That's awesome. Does he have all of his axes? Bearded, throwing, battle axe. He's got most of them. Go the other way. Oh, he does. Yeah, he literally has all of them. Cool. Walking axe. Yeah, Gimli is like completely decked out in axes. This guy's got like what? 6? 6, 7? A few throwing axes, and then he has like 3 main ones. Walking bearded battle. Yeah, he's maybe 5. Technically 3 main ones and then 2 throwing, I believe it was. Cool. Gamling and Hama. Defenders of Helm's Deep. Sorry, who are these? Haleth, the young son of Hama, and Haleth has never seen combat. Okay. An aging man of Rohan, Aldor. I'm assuming the book. Assuming characters from the book. Lord of the Rings players are crazy. Well, it's expensive. You know why it's so expensive? Because the game isn't really popular. I don't know if it's popular enough, but typically when you're making things in resin, it's because you don't expect them to be like massively sold, right? You still need to kind of fill out your range, but you can't go injection molding because it's just too much money, right? So like a lot of the resins you'll see in Lord of the Rings because they just don't want to take those steps. I'm sure they made characters in plastic though. I think for the Osgiliath box, didn't they come out with like plastic Faramir and then a few of his ranger buddies, right? Like literally right here. Faramir, Madril, and Damrod. Like I think these are all plastic, right? And they came in the Osgiliath box. Yeah, there you go. So that right there is like, sure. Sure. Because you can't really, you know, I don't think I've ever seen them include resin in like a starter box. I don't think that'd make any sense. They were in the movie briefly. Were they really? Were they kids or something? I'd have to watch it again. I thought it was the old guy who shot the arrow who had no eye. That's not him, though, because he has an eye. Although, actually, that actor was brought on, and he was missing his eye. Gravity cast. Well, these are all resin casts, so there's big molds, and, you know, you pound them out, and you let the resin sit, probably some pressure, and you're cooking. Otherwise, you've got your injection molded plastic. And then you've got your metal as well, so that's kind of cool. Like, all of these, I think, are still done in metal. The Hobbits. Look at them. Oh my god, Augustus Gloop over here. These are metal. Paladin took Fredrigar Bolger. Lobelia Sackville Baggins. And the Hornblower. Oh, it's a resin. Okay, they're all done up in Finecast now. CBT Finecast. Yeah, I remember actually I had Sauron back in the day in metal. And I painted him in like fucking tin bits. It was like black with like a dry brush of tin bits, and it was done. That was the old like well, tin color, I suppose. One dry brush when I was a child. That's it. You look great. That's all you got to do. There's not much going on with Sauron, and then of course you painted the one ring, and that was it. You were finished. That was fun. Gothmog. Wasn't Gothmog supposed to be who is he based on again? Weinstein? Harvey Weinstein, I think it was. Well, the problem with the plastic molding is you have to actually make the mold, which is a lot of money. The actual process of creating that is apparently quite expensive and quite arduous, and so it's not really worth it. That's why. It's much easier to do one-off things where you're actually, like, with manual labor, pouring resin, mixing resin, you know, melting down, like, your little white metal, you know, composite, whatever the fuck it's made of, and then pouring it. It's just a lot easier than tooling up, like, an actual plastic thing, because it needs, like, only, I'm sure, for, again, things that they know will sell. And there he is. There's Sauron. Oh, you could have painted him black, actually. Shit, I just dry brushed him in one color. That was it. And they're now in Finecast, eh? Damn. He was hefty. You could throw this at somebody and, like, wound them. The Berserks, yeah. The Goblin Commanders with the drums, the Moria drums. They have the dragon, the cave drake. These, I remember when this came out. This was in the, I think it was first shown in the Khazad-dûm book, the second one. When it was like the whole supplement. It was the second supplement with like all the updated goblins and the dragon and the cave troll stat profiles, and then they had like the Watcher. I think the Watcher back in the day, it's crazy to think that they actually made a Watcher mini, and he's right there, and he's so sick. Because back in the day, he was only tentacles. I think at first, in a White Dwarf, he was converted, and then they actually came out with his tentacles, I think. He was just arms. Like, there was no, like, actual mini for the Watcher, and so you just had a bunch of, like, things sticking out of bases. Yeah, that's sick that they made him. That's so sick. He's a fucking freak, man. Look at this thing. Ew. This is cool. Who doesn't like the nameless things? Like, that is... It's just gross. It's like an eldritch bugtopus. Yeah, well, you're talking about... Injection molded plastic is just expensive. It's, again, arduous as well. Urukai Scouts, Haradrim, Warg TM. I remember this Warg kit. You can actually take the riders off, because the riders can die or whatever, and you can put the, there's little tufts that they come with. Look. Like, you can put the tufts of hair where the riders peg into the thing. That's fun. Yeah, I remember. And there was even, back in the day when I was playing Moria, they had Goblin Warg Riders in, like, a White Dwarf supplement, and I think they had rules, and I remember playing with them a little bit. It was kind of fun. That was cool. War Drakes of Rune. God. Like most of the Lord of the Rings range, you'll never see in person. Ever. Not that it's bad, but it's just such an underappreciated thing. Gullivar GW's OC characters. Gullivar. Ooh. Oh, this thing. The Terror of Arnor. Oh, this is like this guy's pretty old. I remember seeing him what, 2000s? The Terror of Arnor. The Shade of Angmar or Angmar. Oh. Spirit Host. Holy whoa. I have not seen these guys. These are crazy looking. That is Black Dragon Warriors. I'm assuming these are like the elites. Yeah. At the highest echelons of the Easterling army stand the Black Dragons, a mysterious warrior cult fanatically dedicated to warfare in the name of Sauron. Yeah, these are like the elites. I mean, that is such a crazy sculpt. Like, these look really good. The OG plastics look really good, but like these are like higher fidelity. Yeah. The Hill Trolls. The Hill Tribesmen. The Demolition Teams. Oh my god, they still have these? Weren't these in... I don't think these were in the box set. Or the Two Towers. Yeah, you get your little siege ladders, your berserkers with like... your torches, and you have your bombs. That's cool as shit. I remember these. My buddy had some. Well, technically my stepbrothers had a lot of this stuff because that's how I got into Warhammer to begin with, and this was one of them, for sure. The Cave Troll. Please don't tell me Finecast. Metal. They don't have the other variants of the Cave Troll. I remember I had all the Cave Troll variants. They have one with, like, he's swinging, he's up like this. And, in a way, I kind of don't regret selling it. Like, a lot of my Lord of the Rings stuff went to a father and his son. And, I want to say I regret it because it would be nice to kind of look back at, like, the memories, but it's good. It's good that at least they had something going on. I have so many trolls. You have the new ones. They look good. The trolls look great. The cave troll. I mean, this is like the classic Moria troll, right? The hill trolls look excellent. These look really nice. I love that they still look like Moria trolls. That's cool. The drakes are fun as fuck too. The Oathmaker. $40! God damn! Is he resin? He's gotta be. Yeah. He's not that big. Lord of the Rings scale is pretty tiny. Shelob came out. Shelob's actually in plastic. That's crazy. Yeah, Shelob came out in plastic. That's awesome. I guess any sort of, like, mainline villain or mainline movie thing that they can draw from, like... Well, they can draw with an audience, right? Like, who doesn't want a Shelob? The OG one was great. That was sculpted by Trish, I believe. Trish Carden. These are fun. The Mouth. The Barrow Whites. The Dead Marsh Specters. Warg Chieftain. Uruk-hai with crossbows. Classics. Apparently, back in the day, this kit was sold... Like, this kit sold so well. I think at one point it outsold 40K. When the movies were out. It was the Uruk-hai troops. Uruk-hai warriors. Pretty sure that's what happened back in the day. Oh, you can hurt anyone with a lot of these old metal minis. They're just chunks of, like, metal. The Mummic was sick. Corsairs of Umbar. Yeah, these are all great. Ruffians. This is like, if you need D&D thugs, you've got D&D thugs. They're a little bit expensive for thugs, but, like, yeah, they're there. The Prowlers. I remember pre-ordering these. When they were coming out. That was cool. The Goblin Prowlers. With the Goblin King. Who was out a lot earlier. Yeah. Well, I don't blame people. Do you blame people that people who play D&D want to use like Lord of the Rings minis? Like, you really need a community who wants to sit down and say, let's play a game of Lord of the Rings. You know? Like, I'm going to be doing, when I get around to it, I want to do Erebor, Iron Hills, and my Khazad-dûm. Like, Thror with Thrain, Warriors, you've got the Grimhammers. There's a lot of cool stuff. Goat Riders. Pretty expensive. 3 for 120 Canadian. Even the Ballista. Holy fuck, the Ballista. Completely forgot these guys had the Ballista. Weird. Grimbjorn. Bjornlings. Young Thorin, Balin, and Dwalin. See, every time I see this, I just want to go put on, like, The Hobbit and just fall asleep immediately. It's a good movie, though. Good set of movies. The Chariot, 255. Oh, my lord. Oh, my lord. Legolas and Shuriel. Yeah, that was a weird little romance they had going on in the movies. I think it was Feely. Tariel. Captains of Erebor. Lake Town. Does anyone play Lake Town? I'm sure people do. I don't know how anyone, you know, it's not that, like, a lot of people have read The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. A lot of people have done tons of Tolkien stuff. But for those who didn't, and just watched the movies, kind of like me, like, I wasn't really, at the time, probably reading any Tolkien stuff, but, you know, you come out of the theaters, you're done watching The Hobbit, you're like, my favorite thing is Lake Town. I gotta play Lake Town. And it's like, all right. Not to say that these minis are bad, because these are amazing. But who the hell wants to play Lake Town? It's cool that people do. It's really cool. It's cool that people play everything, because that's the point, right? It's like, what is this? The Master and Alfred, the guy who gets thrown into a troll's mouth and dies. It's a super horde army. It's probably just a bunch of chaff trash. I mean, that's fun, though, right? I mean, God forbid, look at this dude's face. They even got the unibrow. I'm sure they're fun. I think that's the biggest thing about them. It's probably that they're very fun. That's gotta be. Master of Lake Town. The sculpts are great. They're really fun. Very characterful. Literally just from the movies. Lake Town Militia Warband. Yeah. That's cool. I'm glad they have stuff like that for everyone. There you go, Lake Town. You can have your little army of Lake Towners, and then you can build them a village. And they can come to life at night and keep you warm and keep you, give you some company. Do they still sell the OG Ruins kit? I wonder if they do. I think this is like an updated version of the old Ruins kit, or maybe it is. No, this is updated. Is it? That's... no, this is old. That's old. I can't tell. It's been so long. They even give you the ring. Yeah. Goblin Town, Mines of Moria. I'm so glad they brought this back. This is from the starter set, the Mines of Moria starter set. So good. It's just one casted sprue and you're done. They were bringing back a bunch of terrain, yeah. Sick. I mean, the fantasy terrain is probably the best terrain they've ever made. It's simply just amazing. I mean, even the 40k stuff, all of the Empire, like, watchtowers and chapels and all that stuff. I mean, they even had more back in the day with, like, Forge World put out a bunch. They're really elusive now, but they had, like, a well, they had a coach, like a tavern, a house, tons of different things. They're still missing quite a bit here, but, like, this is cool.
Is that all you've got?
The fortified
you must
manor.
Have more.
When I get critted by a twin player, I feel unbridled rage, yet when I get critted by GP, I can't.
And it's such a treat to build terrain and not build minis for once. It's such a different vibe, and it still feeds into itself, right? Because it's like part of the hobby. The 40k terrain looks good still, yeah. Well, it actually looks really good, come to think of it. The feculent narmal. Was this in 40k? I thought it was like an AOS piece. Maybe I'm coping. The feculent narmal. I mean, you smell that, you just die. Not even smelling it, you just go near it. That's pretty cool. That's awesome that you and your mom get to paint stuff together. Yeah, terrain is fun. 3D printing definitely goes a long way when it comes to making terrain. I would even argue 3D printing is like the best when it comes to terrain, more so than anything else. They're still missing a bunch though. Cool. The Shrine Luminor. Like, look how good that looks. That's crazy. The connection points are just super, super tiny. The Maw Pit. If you do want to theme your boards around, like, the look of Warhammer, you certainly have a lot of options. It does. Yeah, it's the infectious bong. Where is train? There it is. The miasmic malignifier. You get like the big one and the small one. Yeah, well, I don't know. Do they still do? I guess in AOS, even in 40k though, right? Can you not still run like the boss ed bunker and all that crap like these guys? Maybe people don't run them. I'm not sure. In Age of Sigmar, it was a big deal, from what I can remember. Like, I think with the Gloomspite, I was a big fan of, like, Knights, Orcs and Goblins. I played them a bunch back in the day, like 7th, 8th edition fantasy. And then, of course, when AOS rolls around and the Gloomspite, you know, the Night Goblins kind of become their own force. The Loon Shrine. I think this thing replenished your units. So, like, when you lost an entire unit of Night Goblins, you were able to set it up at, like, half strength back at the Moon Shrine. Or the Loon Shrine, I should say. It might have been half strength or full strength. I can't remember. And then you had, like, buffs or something around it. But, I mean, these terrain pieces are amazing. Like, this is straight up Warhammer Fantasy as well. Like, that's just so cool. You can heal ogres with it? Yeah. That's fun. That is fun. Terrain, for the sake of 40k next edition, it's going to be a big deal. You know, you're not only locked in with, like, miniatures, it's also kind of a battlefield that also gives you different, you know, things that you can bring along, ideally. The rabble rouser. Crazy, and I'm so furious that they would update the fucking Goblin Wolf Riders in Age of Sigmar and not do it in Fantasy. That's a war crime. These are so amazing looking. When I saw this, I was like, holy shit. Regular goblins are eating good in Fantasy, and it's like, well, they're for the Gloomspite Gits, and it's like, what? I think it was a warband at first. Yeah, the circle shenanigans. These are really nice. Snarl Pack Cavalry. Those are, what the hell? I don't think I've ever seen these. What's up with their heads? Oh, God. They look great, though. Large and impressive specimens. You could play the spiders back in the day. You could have, like, the Arachnarok, the spider bosses, the regular spiders, shamans. The spider boss back in the day was, like, complete CBT to make. I don't know if they still sell them. Yeah, if you're not really familiar with pinning miniatures, some minis are just kind of, like, abhorrent trash. Not in style, because I think all the old GW sculpts are, like, peak. But in terms of making minis, you really need to dial it in, because, like, that spider, each one of its legs was individual. And it had to stand up on, like, a log. And so you had to, like, glue the legs in one by one, but they all had to stay. And knowing me at the time, I was a kid, I didn't really know how to pin. Yeah, bad memories. What, this? Are you talking about AOS? Are you talking about the orc boss on the wyvern? Yeah. You know, I think they actually redid this guy. They released him in resin, and they touched him up a little bit in terms of sculpt, which is really, really cool. I think they did that for this guy. They did that for the Tomb King's Bone Giant, and they did it for the Casket of Souls. They went back and they actively did a few things for, like, the range. With minis that were initially released. I think even for the... Was it... I think it was the Necrolith Colossus. Well, the Bone Giant. I believe they released the unreleased head. I think he's actually with it right now. I can't remember. Oh, it's this one. I think it's the one with the one of these is an unreleased head, and they decided to include it with the kit, and they also made it like actual resin. That's pretty cool. This thing was a chunky metal mini back in the day. This is pre-tax. This is Canadian as well, yeah. That's why you just kind of buy from, like, the warp.co.uk. The warp.co.uk. Yeah, this is in Canadian. The reason a lot of these are quite expensive as well is not only is it retail, but it's also resin. And there's more manual labor in kind of casting it up and figuring out the kit. So you're factoring in that as well. Not to say that it's justified or anything, but, like, yeah. These have got to look pretty damn good to be done up in resin. I'd even wager that, like, if you were to get these back in the day, you'd have, like, studio resins, which is what they'd work with when they wanted to, like, do box art or anything. It was, like, castings that were, like, super high fidelity, no mold lines. That's probably what this feels like now. It's like a studio resin. The Tomb Scorpion. I mean, the one thing that triggers me is the base is so... It's just ugly. Like, why not make it, like, what? A 40 mil square? I don't know if it could be on a 40 mil. I haven't had this thing in person. I think it's a bit too wide. It's a very wide mini, but, like, you've got like a horizontal base It's such a weird... It's so weird to have that. It's super weird. The Tomb Scorpion. Also done up in resin. They really dialed it in. Holy shit, they cast everything in resin. Cetra in resin? Tomb King. Cetra's down below. Metal, okay. What about Cetra? Metal and plastic. Okay. Well, the mic still works. I like it. It's good that it's there. Carrion. When I see fantasy, I want to do fantasy. Fuck, man. Burlock Damonson. The last fantasy thing I picked up was Damonson, I think it was. It was Damonson with, like, Ungrim, which is the new stuff. Gunthane. Crazy that we have new fantasy sculpts. Who would have thought that we got, like, younger Ungrim, a fucking Burlock Damonson before he lost his arm, a random Gunthane on an Oathstone, which is kind of bizarre, but, like, alright. We got back the old, what was this, 6th edition? 6th edition Storm of Chaos stuff. With, like, the Hewer, the Doomseekers. And the Flame Cannons, just everything came back. The old would-be Blackfire Pass supplement minis came back. This was supposed to be for, like, a campaign. They were doing a Blackfire Pass campaign. And these minis were supposed to kind of be... It was like the orcs and the dwarves. And, this is the only thing that came out of that, unfortunately. If it actually was able to take off before it got canned, probably would have got a bunch of cool stuff. You have to cut up the resin minis, yeah. Everything has imperfections. A game? I have no time to play. I don't even have a completed army right now. Fortunately. Not like the days of old. Blame younger me for selling most of my shit. Good memories. Belagar. Belagar got reduced to king on Oathstone, and even in Age of Sigmar, he was a nobody in Age of Sigmar. And I guess this is the latest, like, plastic sculpt they did for 8th edition, when Belagar finally got, like, a character and rules and everything, and you could play him. And then he just got, like, thrown around like a bitch and turned into literally nothing. I regret selling most of my stuff, yeah. It's more so for the memories. I think the quality I wouldn't be happy with, but it's more of like nostalgia, you know? Latest finished mini. It's in the YouTube video, actually. If you check the YouTube video, you'll see it. It's like the very first thing you'll see. Well, yeah, sentimental value. I've been doing Warhammer my whole life. Like 20 plus years at this point. Like, there's a lot of memories. These are all the new releases. Why would they release Iron Warrior stuff early without, like, the Primarch, though? Isn't that kind of weird? I guess if they sell everything first and then people buy it all up, they can then recoup their money and then buy the Primarch, right? Porterabo, when it comes out. I guess that's a strategy. That's a very Games Workshop thing. And it's tax season, so, you know, I'll hold off on that. Well, technically today was the last day to file for the U.S., yeah. I need it all! Give me all of it. Did you know they're selling generic Warhammer dice now in cardboard? It comes in like a little cardboard packaging. Very environmentally conscientiousness friendly. 26-sided dice. This is the official Games Workshop dice. If you don't roll these dice at the tournament, you'll be executed. And then banned after they kill you. Contran, hello, sir. The dice are quite nice. Well, the themed dice that they come out with, I like. The quality is just whatever. It's fine. It's more so, I guess, the idea that you've got, like, official themed dice. I'm a sucker for official, but, you know, they used to have, I think they came out with a dice set for, like, every old world race that came out. I've got a few of the dwarf ones. Is there an army model you would never sell, like your prized possession? I've got a bunch. I have a few. I've got a few that if I was to pass away, I would have to do something with them. Not sure yet, though. Build and paint? Officially licensed. Officially licensed. Where are the, I want to see the unironic, I want to see the tools. Where are the tools? Build and paint. Okay, tools. Here we go. Ooh. The number one thing I don't understand about Games Workshop is how can you make, like, the best miniatures in the world, subjectively, but make the worst tools in the world, subjectively? GeForce. Stream it? Well, you got to use OBS. This is 24 bucks. Well, these are 64 because these are the fine detail cutters. Fine detail. This thing you give to children. This is the weirdest tool. This is a great tool if you have someone who doesn't want to hold a knife. So, like, ideally, don't give it to your kids. Well, give this to your kids. But the incredibly popular mold line remover has been redesigned by the Citadel Tools team to be more useful than ever. I respect the hustle, and I do understand. That is a funky shape. I think that came out of my ass earlier today. It's a very interesting tool, and it's not that it isn't terrible. It's just not widely used. Well, OBS is good. You have to have a good setup to stream well, I'd say, yeah, because everything kind of boils down to what you've got going on. Sorry, did I get a donation again? Oh, I did. Sorry, Tarek, I didn't even see your donation. Sorry, man. My headphones are off. Like, the volume is just dead. When I get critted by a when I get critted by a Trin player, I feel unbridled rage. Yet when I get critted by GP, I can't be mad, honestly. True. Well, Trin's is bullshit, though. He just builds it up for free. Where do you buy your paints and tools? All over. I actually use some Citadel stuff. Mainly the knife handle. The old handles they have from back in the day I do like. They're just very heavy. They're like solid metal. In terms of the GW tools, though, yeah, maybe not. Maybe not use these. But I do use Citadel paint. Like, I like GW paint. Vallejo. Pro Acryl is good. Those are the ones I usually use. Yeah. Oh, it's expensive. Yeah. Well, you can literally... It's because it's official. You can still... Effectively, all this is a curved piece of metal that you're going to be dragging along a mold line and then flattening it. You could technically do it with files. You could do it with a hard piece of, like, rounded metal. Like, it's just that it's official. That's the idea. Again, it's good for kids. And yes, I don't think this is $32 worth, for sure. But it's up to you. You know, it's your hobby. Do what you want to do. Fiction. Gotrek. Yes. Grudge Bearer. Is it? It's not even limited, is it? This is just back for good? It's a good book. It's a little fun book. It's not very long. Probably the shortest dwarf book out there. The biggest scam they've done is, it's so bizarre, but they have the first omnibus of Gotrek and Felix. And they released, this is the 3rd edition omnibus. It might be third, I think it's the 3rd edition. If memory serves me, this is the latest, it's 3rd edition. They released all of these back in the day. So you'd be able to go into a Games Workshop, you know, oh, a new one came out. It's limited run, obviously, but like they did 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But the only one they kept is the first one. So it's like, oh, I really like Gotrek and Felix, or I've heard so much about them, I want to go read Gotrek and Felix, and so you buy the first omnibus, and then you can't get any of the other ones. It's like, what do you do if you want physicality, right? Which they're actually doing reprints of these, so that's great, but, you know, I know they're on Audible. It's just kind of weird to, like, have such a long-standing series with only, like, the first one available, especially being the best fantasy series. Like, this is the most important fantasy thing, probably, for most people. Not most important lore-wise, but, like, you know, book-wise. Weird. No, it's just the mic. Fast internet, OBS, and a good PC. Yeah. You need a good PC because the PC will process all the streaming stuff. You need good internet service so you can actually stream in high bitrate. And that's it. That's really it. So, good PC, good internet. Yeah. It's kind of what it's about. What? They sell Warhammer World books? Like the diorama books? That's kind of cool. Really? I've seen these on eBay. I had a chance to get the first few, and I never did. Crazy that that's selling. Whoa. Crazy they have it online. True. Everyone loves mochi. That's why they watch. They watch for mochi. All right. It is getting a little bit late. It's 10 o'clock. Oof. Let's close this down.
Shut up, you dickhead! Now fuck off!
A little bit to support your hobby.
Well, I need to probably record a video or not a video, but a clip of all of this before I chop it all up. Yo, Contran, thank you, bro, for the 2 months. Yes, sir. It's an interesting hobby. It's very, like, Warhammer is great, and it's no longer a niche, but it's something that I think gaming can't replicate. Like, a physical, laborious, artistic endeavor is not gaming. Some people just want to play 40K, or Fantasy, or Age of Sigmar. Then you've got people who want to play, like, whatever else. And if you go from gaming to this, it really is kind of like night and day. Great therapy from League. Well, it's certainly different. I mean, I've always done this, though. It's not like it's new to me or anything, but it's a different type of enjoyment, you know? You get to play with... Well, they're not... Technically, they're not action figures, right? Like, action figures have, like, posability. You could play with the Joy Toy stuff. You're like, you know, let me make a kill team out of Joy Toy minis. I think people have done that. But yeah, you're right. It's basically that. You're like, you get to build an army. It's like a physical RTS. Like, who doesn't want Terran Marines, or, you know, if you played Dawn of War back in the day, it's like, oh, I want Space Marines, or whatever it may be. Yeah, so it's fun. It's different. Yeah. Well, Lego is weird because Lego is more of a displayable... It's kind of like Gundam or scale modeling, where a lot of it is meant for show. And a lot of those things kind of stop at that. So, like, you'll build it, paint it, display it, and that's great. Display pieces are amazing. But why Warhammer is so popular is because it goes beyond that, and it has a fully fledged game. That's the biggest thing. So it has, like, the most weight in terms of what you're actually doing. You're not only building for, like, artistic endeavor, display. Yeah, there's all of Warhammer, the massive, bro, it's tons of games. Yeah. It's all dice rolling, stats. Like, every unit has stats, all the weapons have stats, everything. Like, that's why it's so massively popular, is just because it's not something you kind of sit down with, finish, and you smile at. You know, people take them to tournaments, people work on armies for ages. So, anyways, I'm rambling. Oh, well, yeah, there you go. It's a war game. It's a more, well, depending on the game you play, it can get very in-depth. There's a lot going on. But I do need to go. I'm very tired, and it is time for me to drink some juice or water or something and go to bed. So, with that being said, folks, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for listening to me ramble about whatever. And I will see you all later. So peace, folks. Be well, and have yourself